And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today, my channel is talking about a little bit different, which is semen retention. This is a channel for men. It's a channel to develop leadership. It's a channel to set yourself up for success as a man in business, in relationships, in health, in everything. One of the things that men struggle with these days is to become exactly that, men. They grow up as children and they play, and they're very often people try to discipline them too early, so they end up feeling like they didn't have a childhood. What ends up happening is that they grow up and they're still children, even though they've become teenagers and they might even become adults, and they still haven't gone through the process of becoming men. What ends up happening is that we get feminine boys or feminine men who basically go through life and have emotional issues and who have basically no control over who they are, what they do, and the habits that they continually basically have in their lives. One of the things that could change all of that is to master one's self. And the greatest self-mastery that one can have is to be able to master semen retention. What are the benefits of semen retention? Basically, your reproductive systems as a man is designed to give you energy, to give you life energy, and it is produced in your testicles. And this production happens every single day. You produce, and this production actually gives you testosterone. Testosterone is what gives you capacity to do amazing things, to be massively motivated, and to be able to last in terms of hard work, in terms of stamina, in terms of anything that needs to be accomplished, in terms of deadlines and goals. If you have that life energy within you, you're able to go on and go on and go on and go on. But alas, most guys do not practice self-mastery. Most guys do not practice semen retention. So they end up wasting that life force, wasting that energy, and what ends up happening is that they end up feeling, having colds. They end up feeling depressed. They end up feeling non-motivated. They end up feeling lonely. They end up feeling anxious. And the list goes on and on and on. Now, what do we do about that? We got to figure something out. And that thing is self-mastery through semen retention. So what are the benefits from semen retention? Simply, flat out. Well, basically, instead of wasting that life energy and that life force, you retain it. You keep it. Which means that instead of having up and down emotional issues, you end up becoming emotionally stable because you have no need. You can imagine a factory, okay? Let's say that factory wants to, they producing some goods, and what ends up happening is that they set up the speed and produce tons of goods. And then they produce, and what ends up happening is that they now get tons of goods, and if they don't sell that goods or get rid of it somehow, then they're gonna have issues. They're gonna have problems. And so it becomes wasted. And instead of selling it to the public because maybe they didn't have a system for that in place, then they have to throw it out. And that cost them a lot of money, a lot of energy, and a lot of issues. Now, instead, what they decided to do was to control the factory's production. And basically, we're not going to create more production than is necessary right now. because it's not necessary. We don't need the goods right now. Okay? And so what ends up happening is that instead they have slow but surely production. And it just keeps on working automatically by itself and produces goods that is actually helpful for the factory. Now, it's difficult to kind of use that analogy, but at the same time it still works, because what ends up happening is that if you have a surely but stable production, that semen doesn't need to be expelled. It doesn't need to have an outlet. It doesn't need to go out of you, right? Instead, you can channel that energy and retain it, and without expelling it. And what ends up happening is that you get better health, you get more ability to perform in terms of, like, if you're an athlete, or if you do martial arts or anything that demands high levels of energy and testosterone, you'll be able to do that very, very effectively. I mean, there's tons of stories and tons of celebrities who were trained to do that. What other benefits are there? 2018, I haven't had one single cold. Okay? I haven't been sick at all in 2018. Just thinking about it. Actually, I haven't been sick for several years. Maybe 3 or 4 years. It's ridiculous. Okay? But anyway, your health will improve. Your motivation will improve. You'll feel more comfortable around women. You'll actually won't look at them as object necessarily anymore. And they will actually be more attracted to you. I know, it's strange. But anyway, I can go on and on and on and on. Just, you can even look it up on Google. The benefits of semen retention. Because the benefits heavily outweigh the downsides. And for my understanding, there actually are no downsides if you really, really research it and find out that there are no health risks when it comes to this. Alright, so, but again, consult with the doctor if that's what you have to do. But in general, the benefits of semen retention will massively assist you to live a magnificently successful life. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and I'll see you again tomorrow.